Alright, no rest for the wicked. We're straight back into it. StarLadder I-League Invitational Season 5. China Qualifier Semifinals. We got LGD versus Rock, and as you can see, this is Game 2. LGD taking Game 1 in convincing fashion, and Rock learning the truth that LGD are definitely a much stronger team than LGD Forever Young. I think LGD just kind of... they locked in cruise control that game, and really just showed that individually... I think they're much better players than Rock are. I'm not trying to flame Rock. I think they're doing really well for an open qualifier team. And the fact that they actually held it together so well in the early game, I think is a testament to some good laning decisions, some decent drafting, some good rotations from their supports. But LGD just that little bit better, accumulating a net worth lead over the course of the entire game. Rock this time around are going to get rid of the Bounty Hunter, which I think was pretty instrumental in that previous game. Getting all those sneaky wards down, keeping vision on the Kunkka with the track, so SF always knew where it was safe to be able to move around, and I think a very heads-up ban from Rock this game. LGD will be getting rid of the Omni Knight, so that means a couple of different things are going to make it through into the pool. I feel like I actually need to go and have a look at what the first phase bans were in the previous game. So NS, DP, ET, Naga, Tiny, and Chen. LGD's turn so Naga's going to make it through, and Rock will grab that for themselves. So maybe Naga Disruptor incoming. I would not be at all surprised to see them pick Naga Jakiro perhaps instead. I think I might actually... The Naga Disruptor is nice, but you have to pick your cores in just the right way so that you don't lose the lanes insanely hard and then are just scrambling to try and win one team fight to bring the game back, because Naga and Disruptor are both very strong heroes if you're ahead, but if you're behind, that's where they can start to feel a little bit weak. Like you song during a team fight, or you don't really set up anything, or you song during a team fight and the enemy team just doesn't really care, you're only using it defensively. The Disruptor's kind of the same way, right? If your team is ahead and you're actively chasing for +1 kills in a team fight, Glimpse feels amazing. If your team is behind and somebody is just jumping the Disruptor and blowing him up every fight, then all of a sudden Glimpse feels not so strong. So LGD perhaps sensing that little bit of weakness might be coming, they're going to go for the Beastmaster Wisp. I think this 2-hero setup is like a combo or a whole draft structure of its own.
10 seconds remaining.
These two heroes work so well together. The Beastmaster plus Wisp have amazing laning potential together. The Wisp is making Beastmaster really fast, really survivable, lets him spam out lots of axes, put on a lot of pressure. And then even beyond the laning stage, where I think Wisp enables Beastmaster like nothing else, then you've got this potential of Beastmaster goes and finds a roar, the Wisp is relocating somebody in to get a kill, or even if you're not using the roar, you've got the Hawk to scout for those relocate pickoffs. I think this is a really, really strong opener. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see, the teams haven't really been experimenting with this as much. LGD, after the Gyrocopter pick, going to show some respect to that tri-lane or safe lane potential of the Jakiro, also getting rid of the Disruptor, just removing as many Naga Siren combos, at least with the position 5, as they possibly can. Rock Gaming can still pick a Witch Doctor or something if they want, though that might also get taken away by LGD over here. Not terrible with the kind of lineup that they're going to be going for. Pretty fast push with the Beastmaster. The heal is nice to have with the Wisp. Wisp is kind of your position 4 in this situation, so I think it would be kind of strong to take it. Yeah, take the Witch Doctor away. Why not? Make life even more miserable for Rock in terms of how are they going to contest this now. The Jakiro's banned, the Witch Doctor's taken. There is a Bane as another strong laning support, but then they're not getting any synergy really with the Naga Siren from their position 5. And I'm not sure that Bane actually shuts down this Beastmaster Wisp dual lane that strongly. Like, the damage that Bane provides is not on the level of the Witch Doctor or the Jakiro. So, but it is pretty good with the Gyrocopter. Get a Nightmare into a homing missile, though that might be tough against a dual lane that's just going to be sitting there. I think this is really smart drafting from LGD. Like, normally you don't see teams prioritizing the position 5 as much, but given that they've already picked their carry, the position 5 is actually what's going to be you know, potentially winning them or helping them to go even against this dual lane, and I don't know if the Winter Wyvern is going to be the answer. On paper, pretty good hero against the Beastmaster, pretty good hero against the Wisp. You can just cast a Winter's Curse on the Wisp in the middle of the fight, and then hopefully whoever he's tethered to is going to beat him to death. If you're getting relocated on, you just Winter's Curse whoever's there, counter-initiate that way, similar to people picking Tide against kind of these Wisp lineups, but not very much damage being provided, really. I don't know about Winter Wyvern's ability to protect the Gyrocopter's lane, and LGD just looking to really run at things here as they pick up the Phantom Assassin. So they have no cooldown dependence at all, really. Meanwhile, Rock have a decent amount of cooldown reliance in amongst their Naga Siren and their Winter Wyvern picks. Underlord's going to be the answer to try and slow things down. I think Rock are just they're grasping at straws here. They're like, oh my god, we need something to spam. We need to drag this game out a little bit. They're going to have some Winter Wyvern D-push, some Underlord D-push. They don't have the last pick, unfortunately, so they're probably also going to have an unfavorable mid matchup. And I don't think LGD's dual lane struggles at killing this Underlord either. Like, Witch Doctor plus Phantom Assassin I think is actually more than enough damage to be dealing with Underlord. And the nice thing about PA is that she's not a base damage hero, she's a plus damage hero. So the Atrophy Aura isn't actually that scary for PA in this situation. But I like the AoE clear against a very pushy, very aggressive lineup from LGD. More teamfight is... I'm about to say that more teamfight isn't going to go amiss, but I don't think LGD are even going to be necessarily teamfighting into Rock. I think this is going to be played pretty similarly to... yeah, I think this is going to be played pretty similarly to the first game, where LGD, they're going to be splitting things up, they're going to be shoving lanes, they'll get those couple of relocate pickoffs here and there, and that'll pave the way for them to start being more aggressive on the map. If you're Rock, what do you pick for your mid lane? I would say something like a Lina ban would be reasonable in this position. Like, Lina looks okay against this LGD lineup. It bursts the PA reasonably well. Killing off the Wisp is also really nice. Get some burst damage there. It is a little bit difficult to play against the PA. Like, once the PA is up in your face, you're relying on your team to peel for you, but I don't know if there's a perfect hero for the situation. So I think the Lina would be all right. Also, it doesn't the Lina doesn't have that many atrocious mid matchups. So given that LGD still have the last pick or the last word when it comes to that mid lane, I think Lina would be okay. What else? If they pick Tinker, I think they lose instantly. So it's tempting. There's like some temptation, I think, for certain teams in this situation to pick something like a Tinker, but I think that is not a good idea. What else? Could see something like a Bristleback, maybe. They could put the Gyrocopter mid if they wanted to. Maybe they feel like they have some kind of other answer to the Beastmaster Wisp lane. Like, maybe they can pick up a stronger carry and then put the Gyrocopter mid. Stronger in terms of their ability to contest the lane, not necessarily stronger in terms of their ability to carry. I think they need to be able to fight early and active this game. Rock seem a little bit stumped, and I am stumped too. I'm gonna have some water to prepare myself for this game because it could be pretty high octane if LGD get their way. Yeah, I don't know what Rock are thinking here.
LGD's turn to pick.
Lycan. I don't like this at all. It's not really more lockdown. It's not really more burst damage. I think their concept here is Lycan's going to be able to pop ultimate and just charge into the backlines and then go after the Wisp or the Witch Doctor, but I'm just picturing him getting roared and then getting just right-clicked to death by PA. So I guess Lycan is going safe lane, but I think the Lycan is even weaker against... I guess he deals with the like harassment a little bit better, but he doesn't really have kill potential against the Beastmaster Wisp, even with the Naga Siren and the Winter Wyvern helping out. So maybe the plan is they want the Winter Wyvern and the Naga Siren to go and do something elsewhere, and they're just going to try and kind of sack the Lycan on the safe lane and hope that he gets some farm. LGD, what are they doing? They're once again going to dig very deep into their reserve time to make their choice, and it is going to be a Timbersaw. Alright. Good against the Underlord. I think pretty good against the Lycan. Looks like it is going to be Timbersaw being played mid. I don't know if Gyrocopter can really deal with this. I don't know if the Rock Gaming lineup can even kill a Timber here. They do have some lockdown for him. But in terms of killing him, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. And LGD just have this ultimate run at you, no cooldowns required kind of a lineup. I could see LGD running away with this game and like and winning the whole thing in 20 minutes. We could be talking 20-minute lane of racks, depending on how well Chalice and FY do in that off lane. But yeah, this could be an ugly game, folks. We'll see. Let's get those overlays on. Got to plug those sponsors. Rock. All right. Yep. So it is speed playing the Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter going to be going mid. I want them to try and first blood bottom with the Winter Wyvern and the Naga Siren. Like I want them to try and go for the Wisp kill or something. But then after that, I really want to see these two heroes moving elsewhere. They could try and maybe like first blood mid instead. Maybe you get homing missile at level 1, and then you wrap around from behind with the Winter Wyvern and the Naga, and just straight up first blood the Timber. I don't even think that's going to be that impactful of a play in terms of the overall game, but I'm just trying to think of any way that Rock can like get a decent start and stabilize things. I don't know. The Underlord is also just going to have, I think, quite a difficult time. Wisp just queuing up the bottle first. Gonna have that pretty quickly. Chalice with his stat shield at the ready skilling up the wild axes. I don't know if he's gonna come up here and maybe cut down these trees. We'll see. Pretty reasonably common Beastmaster play. But they've also got the tether to cut them down if they really need. And FY might even want these trees to be able to hide inside. Ready to tether out when needed. Alright, well let's see if Shining can tolerate this lane as Lycan. If that's gonna be possible. DDR with his Orb of Venom.
30 seconds.
Wait, are they actually okay, so they're putting the Phantom Assassin mid. And they're gonna be putting the Timbersaw on the 1v1 against the Underlord. This is not the most terrible 1v1 in the world for the Underlord initially, but then later on the Timber is just so good at killing him off once he hits level 6. But I wasn't expecting this. I really thought that they would just put the Timber mid. But this does free up the Witch Doctor a little bit more to go and play elsewhere. It looks like Winter Wyvern's plan in this game is going to be to try and snipe the Courier perhaps. But because of that, it looks like LGD are actually going to get 4 bouncy rings. Oh boy, that is an ugly start. So we got quad bounties for the LGD side. Wyvern, it's going to be pretty suspicious when this Wyvern doesn't show for the first minute. Like, the fact that Wyvern isn't top or mid or anywhere to be found, I think LGD are going to figure this out pretty quickly. FY getting chased down by DDR. Chalice already starting in with the axe spam. FY does have some bottle sips, so I think reasonably comfortable with trading hits here. DDR with actually only 1 tango to his name. That's not very fun. FY's dropping kind of low though. Yeah, some pings coming in. FY tethering back across. Gonna start bottling up. I don't think DDR is gonna go down here. But He's harassing nicely to start. Homing Missile comes in on the mid lane, and Phantom Assassin is going to get backstabbed by LT. They're not going to get the courier, but maybe they can get this kill. Oh, he's tanking the tower for a really long time. It looks like Ame might actually be the one to grab this speed. We'll be able to press forward and chase him away. Winter Wyvern just tanky enough to be able to TP back, but instead it is actually First Blood up top. DDR somehow able to chase down the Wisp. Looks like getting level 2, netting him up. Chalice not really getting involved to help his buddy FY at all, looks like. A little bit strange. Underlord getting completely zoned down bottom by Witch Doctor. This is not good. Timber's already got level 3. Underlord's only level 1. He's actually pretty low. Mid lane has the CS going pretty even, actually, all things considered.
I'll take that.
Alright, Naga, after spamming out that last Riptide, is going to be forced all the way back to the fountain. Chalice still just spamming. The Lycan is getting some CS here and there, and sustaining at least a little bit with the Feral Impulse, but he has already chewed through all of his regen. We haven't even seen the level 2 axes coming in just yet, though. FY getting gone on, will be in a little bit of trouble. Chalice trying to play bodyguard for him, but FY does get netted up, and one more auto attack is going to send him packing all the way back to the fountain. The rotations from these rock supports doing their job. Shining is quite low. We're going to cop another axis here. There's LT body blocking Chalice somewhat, though. The Naga Siren is actually completely ditched to go and steal bounty runes.
To the gills.
Yeah, they're not going to get this kill on the Beastmaster. Alright. The Lycan pick seems to be working so far. Once he gets to his Dominator, he's going to be even more difficult to drive out of the lane. Is the Wisp going to continue coming up top here? Looks like he is. But they're not even trying to go for Chalice. They're just kind of focusing on FY every single time he turns up. They are starting to play together a little bit more. It's nice to see. Underlord starting to get some levels down bottom, but as expected, the Timbersaw giving him a hard time at things. Next Nova going to be looking for this rotation over at mid. Speed's in trouble. FY also TPing through, and this is going to be an easy first kill on the board for LGD. Nova knowing that he's not needed down bottom at the moment. Also, no wards whatsoever. Scouting that rotation through the river from the Witch Doctor. They do have an obs over here, but Witch Doctor kind of taking the northern path. They're going to try and go on Chalice while FY is away, but he's actually returned to the lane. And now Chalice might be able to chase down this kill on DDR. He's still pretty speedy. He does have his boots. Winter Wyvern ready with the Cold Embrace just in case. And alright, LGD just going to settle for a couple of bouncy runes. And FY should be able to top Chalice back off. As soon as he gets his phase boots, that's when things really start getting scary up here. But Lycan, 20 CS. Not doing terribly, has his Ring of Health. At least not getting completely spammed out by the Wild Axes.
Mark my territory.
I'm gonna take some Rocket Barrage damage here. Speed won't be able to dive him. Oh, Shining in trouble. He's being maledicted up, and Chalice doesn't care about the tower. He's just gonna keep on diving. Looks like this maledict is gonna take him down. Now they turn their attention over towards LT. FY taking some damage. Looks like DDR does manage to come in here. The Riptide also putting damage onto Chalice. Can they right-click him down? Splinter Blast bouncing in, and X Nova now also might be in some trouble. There is a net available for DDR. Gets it off. Lycan Wolves not really helping, and it's actually Underlord dying down bottom. As X Nova now goes for the turnaround. LT, was he shopping? What was he up to? The Cold Embrace himself over in the trees, but still has the Arctic Burn on cooldown, and FY is going to block him in completely. X Nova and FY just right-click him down. Underlord died and is already back to the bottom lane, getting spammed out again. LGD already with a 2k net worth lead across the board, 5 minutes into the game.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Ame
attack.
still suffering a little bit at the hands of the Gyrocopter spam, but he is now a little bit low on mana. Oh, they spotted X Nova way out of position here. Holding onto the net just in case they need to cancel a TP. He's a little bit too low at this point. FY going to try and come in with the save, but can't give him quite
Dire's
enough
bottom
health
tower
in
is
time.
under attack.
Underlord still just sitting at 8 CS down here. Yaha gonna try and snag a couple of bounty runes.
Dire's bottom
LG
tower is under
looking like
attack.
maybe is going to be able to take out this first tier 1 tower pretty early on. Gyrocopter, level 6, does have some 1 charges to be able to get the call down off. But X-Nova is going to be hunting for him. The Naga Siren is also just a little bit further up in the river. Might be able to turn this one around, but I think it's just too much damage. The Paralyzing Cast even bouncing back the speed. Gets a little bit unlucky, though those 1 charges might just save him from the Maledict. Now he's able to turn it around with the call down. FY keeping Ame in fighting shape. DDR getting crit down. Can they get another dagger? They keep the vision. Blink Strike cooling down, but they don't even need it. He is actually going to get into the trees, it looks like. Tries for the TP out. FY tethering in. And alright, just get the vision. Get 1 last dagger and get that kill. And Underlord's answer for this bottom lane push from the Timbersaw is going to be cutting the wave himself. Oh, X-Nova caught. He's dead. LGD can keep on chasing. The shrine's already being used. He's gonna try for the TP out. Can he make it? Yes, he can.
Middle tower is under attack.
And all right, at least I gotta give Rock some credit for the fact that they're finding some farm. The Lycan's doing decently. The Beastmaster getting going on here. Take some damage. I think he's gonna be just fine. He's got a shrine waiting for him as well. Gonna have his level 6 before too long, so they will probably try and find a kill on the Lycan at that stage. FY, only level 4, so no relocate just yet. And Underlord needs to be careful about what he does down here. He's running a little bit low on mana, though he does have the Enchanted Mango to help him out. Running for it. Alright, he's just accepting his fate here. Yeah, looks like maybe TPing in, finishing him off quickly. Underlord down once again. Gyrocopter, nothing too surprising in terms of the build. Double Wraith Band's a little bit unusual. Guess just trying to dominate the lane that way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Seconds away from level 6. FY sitting behind him up top, trying to drag them into a little bit of a dive, perhaps. Do already have the Dominator on the Lycan, so he's got more than enough sustain against the Beastmaster, and DDR is actually going for the wraparound play. They might instead just be able to go for FY, especially now that they have this Lycan ult. They're going to drop the Roar. Instead on the Naga, just look to focus her down. Lycan ultimate getting popped, Cold Embrace. Have to keep him alive, and they just go right past Chalice onto FY without that Roar. He's going to try and tether back to keep himself alive, but Shining finishes him off, and now Chalice is the one in trouble. Netted up, they are going to TP in. Ame trying to look for the turnaround. Chalice juking around inside the trees, but DDR heads him off at the pass. Ame won't be able to find the vision for the Blink Strike, and now he might actually be the one in a little bit of trouble. The Lycan ultimate has run out. The big bad wolf is back to just being some dude. And alright, DDR will instead just have to TP out. Speed putting himself in a somewhat awkward situation, but what's the plan here? Hoping to wait for somebody to make their way back over towards mid. But instead, back to farm stations for him. Still yet to really see the Timber get involved. Could have been an opportunity for him to turn around that dive up top.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Rock gonna cut into that net worth lead a little bit. Gonna get some pretty good damage on the mid tier 1 as well, though. Nobody really hammering that one home. Where's the Gyrocopter right now? Actually headed all the way back to the
Dire's
fountain.
top tower is under attack.
And LGD with some very deep wards once again. They don't have the bounty hunter this time around, but X-Nova is still making some nice moves. Keeping the vision up for his team and really setting up for that first relocate gank. Looks like FY is going to go and soak mid. Courier almost dying to the tower. Be careful, putting damage on the Lycan, but they do have the Underlord here. The percent-based damage starting to add up a little bit on the Timber. Should be able to keep him locked down. They've also got the net. This is a 5-man rotation from Rock, but a very important kill to be claiming at this stage, knocking the Timbersaw down a peg. Let's see if they can find anything afterwards. LGD are pushing up top. 2 points in the inner beast, speeding things up just that little bit more.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We're just gonna Dark Rift top to defend this. Is it just the Underlord coming? Just the Underlord on his way. He's a little bit squishy right now. Only has the Arcane Boots and a Soul Ring. No defensive items just yet. Winter Wyvern level 5. That level 6 is going to be very important against a couple of these initial relocates. And speaking of relocate, Wisp is actually getting chased down once again. Shining finishes him off. This Lycan last pick, it took a little bit of Rock sitting around scratching their heads, but turning out to really be the right decision, and now he's going to dominate up the catapult. This is going to force a reaction out of LGD. Ame jumping in, Shining going to try for the TP out. He's a little bit too tanky, and he'll be A-okay. Over at mid lane, we've got some action. Speed getting gone on, but it's actually the Timber Soho might be in some trouble. Now the Roar finally comes out, the Cold Embrace, helping to keep him alive, but not against all of that magical and pure damage from the Timber. He's diving a little bit further. He wants this Underlord kill. Misses on the Timber Chain, though. And that might be the end of this dive, at least onto the Underlord. Winter Wyvern will still be brought down. And LGD find a 2-for-0 at mid lane, as they should also be able to grab the tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower is
I don't
under
know.
attack.
Even though FY died at bottom, it kind of opened the floodgates for LGD. They're like, oh, Lycan used his ultimate. Well, he's not a threat anymore, and they're not really afraid of the Underlord at the moment.
Dire's
So
middle tower
they
has
just
fallen.
jump the gyrocopter, and that's the end of that. BDR does have a Song of the Siren ready to go. But is this really going to set up for anything? Maybe they try for the X-Nova kill. Yeah, going to drop down the call down, but they do still need to be a little bit careful. X-Nova getting bursted, but FY's going to try and keep him alive with that overcharge, and it's doing good work. X-Nova actually just turning it around with the Death Ward. He keeps on channeling through everything, maybe diving the tower. DDR going to get locked inside of the Cold Embrace, but that just makes him an easier target.
Radiant's
Down he
top
goes.
tower is
Maybe
under
still has
attack.
some wand charges. Plenty of stacks of the reactive armor as well. Yeah, just saying hello. What is happening here, guys? Come on. Alright. Timber chains himself out. Shining turning around onto Ame. Has the ultimate in 15 seconds time, but needs to be careful. Chalice is coming over. He's pretty angry. He does have the Roar ready, but nice little bit of micro. Stomp him up with the Centaur. And Shining just going to keep on farming. Alright, I got that early. Medallion of Courage picked up for the Beastmaster. It's going to make things easier when it comes to the Roshan situation. Definitely going to be important to get an Aegis on the PA or the Timber this game. Oh, they're jumping in. They want this kill on Underlord. Do they have enough burst damage? They're going to use the Roar. He's trying for the jump out, but the Timber Chain is there just fast enough. The Shrine even getting activated for that. Chalice diving a little bit deeper, maybe looking for more. Spot speed rotating across. They are going to be popping that Lycan ultimate. He's a little ways away right now. Chalice in some trouble. X-Nova doing his best to heal him up. Paralyzing cast bouncing around, but Chalice locked down. He will be brought down. Nice and easy. The PA is just farming for a Battle Fury, so Ame not in any great rush here. You know, no Deso first build or anything like that. Still, I think respecting the high ground defense that Rock have, realizing that, look, there's no way that we're going to end this in 20 minutes with the current pace of game and the amount of spam that they have.
Don't mind if I do.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
How's Lycan's Necro book going? Not too far away from Necro 1. We do have the relocate ready, but FY might just get caught out here. X-Nova's going to give him a potential tether target. The Radiant Vision in the Dire jungle continues to be fantastic. Dire warding just a little bit behind, but I think sort of to be expected. The caliber of support players on the LGD side is just that little bit better than what Rock have. He does get the one ward down up here. But the lanes are also that constant problem. Everything just getting shoved onto the Dire side. There's axe spam, there's the Timber Saw. They're really struggling to get things out, even with the Underlord and whatnot. Spot Yaha here. Easy damage. They even need the Death Ward. They're going to commit it. X-Nova securing that kill. 3 points up in the Maledict. They just have vision absolutely everywhere. Anyone trying to move in and defend a tower just instantly gets bursted down.
Radiant's middle tower is
Song of
under
the Siren
attack.
is back up, but like we were
Dire's
talking
top
about
tower
earlier,
is
LGD
under
banned
attack.
out a lot of the combo potential from that position 5. So
Dire's structures are
Rock don't
fortified.
really have that much that they can do with it. I mean, we saw them use it to try and set up a call down a little bit earlier, but that was about all they could manage. And so it's going to end up being a tier 1 for tier 2
Dire's
trade.
top tower
Maybe
has
grabs the
fallen.
last hit, and that's going to be his Bloodstone.
Radiant's
pretty
bottom
much
tower
completed.
has fallen.
Tier 1 will be taken out down bottom by the Lycan. He's got his level 2 ultimate now and almost the Necro 2. It's a pretty big power spike for him. Though we'll see if they're going to be able to take a fight with that, as LGD are actually already heading over in towards the Roche. It's not Not super fast. The call then is just going to clip onto X-Nova. He's also being netted up. FY thinking about trying to save him. Will tether in now, and they've actually got Ame also coming over. Speed's not that tanky. The axe just sliced right through him. X-Nova getting that doubled up heal. It's only 1 point in the voodoo restoration, but nicely done by FY. Realizing that they didn't really have the burst for that dive. Shining not coming across. He did instead just choose to commit and take out this bottom tier 2 tower. But with that failed rotation and losing the gyrocopter, LGD easily head in. Finish up the Roshan. LT is invis in the neighborhood. He's just going to drop the Winter's Curse on FY and spitefully flap his way out of there.
Minus hero.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Alright, I'm already putting that Battle Fury to work. Clearing up some Ancients. They do end up losing the mid-tier 1 to all the summons from the Lycan, so Shining actually getting a ton of farm going his way, though he is the only one in that situation on his team. The Gyrocopter just keeps getting bursted down in every single fight. They haven't really been able to save him. The Underlord also looking pretty squishy for the time being. Does have a mech now picked up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough in face of all this damage that LGD are starting to build up. Chalice even going to be going for a Meteor Hammer. Interestingly enough. I mean, I guess it kind of combos with the Roar. Or it is just going to help them push that little bit faster. Kind of an interesting choice. I mean, what else would he go for here? Solar Crest, Vlad's. All sound decent. And I really love the way that Chalice and X-Nova are moving around. They're using the Roar Maledict Deathward super effectively. FY sitting behind, ready to relocate PA in. So they effectively have 5 heroes here. Ready to go with the Timbersaw, and Rock know it. They know that it just can't really fight. Especially with the Aegis up as well. Winter Wyvern trying to complete a blink. They could just get that big blink Winter's Curse off on probably the Wisp. That could definitely turn things around in one of these fights, but for now, LGD seems completely undeterred. Pushing things under the tier 3 tower. What is DDR up to? Still just trying to finish up his Spirit Vessel. I feel like they can't just sit around here. They're not making any forward progress on the lanes, so I do feel like they have to defend.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Nope, they're gonna catch the song onto 3, but can Rock even get here in time? They've only got 1 or 2 more seconds left of the song. Beastmaster's gonna be able to turn around with the Roar. He doesn't even want the Naga Siren with the Roar. They want bigger kills. Lycan might get locked down here. Needs to be careful. Why is he running back into this fight? I think he's just gonna get bursted. The cooldown does come in, but Shining is already dead. They're dodging a bit of the damage, so the PA is still putting good work on the Beastmaster. That Winter's Curse doing its job. Gyrocopter will even be able to get X-Nova. He tries to juke around the corner. Speed locked inside of the Cold Embrace. Ame is just waiting for him. Dagger and Blink only needs the 1 crit to finish it, and might not even need that, as they also have the Chakra flying in. They only lose X-Nova. FY relocating across. They also want LT. He doesn't have a TP scroll. Maybe just needs to lock him down a little bit, and looks like he should be able to. He's still juking, but maybe finds the tree. Finds the kill. Picks up the mega kill streak, and LGD with Aegis still intact now turn their attention towards the high ground. It is going to be slowed down a little bit by the Firestorm spam. Also managing to net up Ame, but FY's got the heals in a couple of seconds. That Blinky did break the tether. He's on his own for now.
Dire's middle tower
They're going to come in, tank the tower. They've got the heals, they got the -4 armor talent, and they've got the Desolator, so they can quick work at this tier 3 tower. At that point, LGD might just choose to back out, maybe go for the shrines first. They do have everybody up now again on Rock, but the same can be said of LGD, and once again, they aren't really relying on any cooldowns. They've already got the Roar. Lycan still waiting 20 seconds to go on his ultimate. The Meteor Hammer is going to drop down onto both racks and just clipping that Underlord. Chalice will get stunned by the homing missile. They're going to drop the Winter's Curse on top of him, but it's only the Timbersaw auto attacks really doing damage. They follow things up with the call down. The Gem of True Sight's going to hit the deck. Looks like Timber should be able to go in and grab that. Ame waiting for a good chance to go jumping in. Lots of ultimates being used by Rock, but I think LGD feeling worried about the fact that the Lycan now has his ulti and they don't have the Roar for the lockdown, so just gonna back themselves up. Ama's gonna go for a BKB. They still have 45 seconds remaining on the Aegis. Probably not enough for them to feel confident about taking an extended fight there.
This should make my life easier.
LGD have reload back up. So as soon as the Beastmaster respawns, they're going to have some kill potential around the place. Underlord farming in a pretty interesting situation. Lycan doesn't want to pop the ultimate just yet. The tether away from FY now. Is he going to be able to get the reload out? He does, but actually leaves X-Nova behind, who will instead get munched. He's dead. Shining needs to look for a little bit more, though. They get the Hawk. Aegis is being reclaimed. But with no Lycan ultimate, I think LGD should be able to fight. FY is just getting swarmed, but maybe going to go charging in. Can they burst anybody down before the Stark Grip gets them out of there? Nope. Won't be able to. And in the end, just ends up being a free pickoff for Rock. Well, kind of a free pickoff. Cost them the shapeshift. 70 seconds to go on that. LGD probably push the tier 2 in the interim. There is a glyph, but it seems unlikely that they'd be willing to use it just for that tier 2 tower. And this could be a big deal. We do now have the Blink Dagger picked up for the Winter Wyvern. Should make it a little bit easier to get that Winter's Curse. I mean, what's best case scenario? Best case scenario is probably you curse the Beastmaster next to the PA, and the PA kills him before the roar goes off. And then you kind of make it really easy for Lycan to get into the fight. We're down 11k net worth, 22 minutes in. Not quite as stompy as the previous game, but I mean, we did have an Arc Warden and a Bounty Hunter on the LGD side in the previous game, so lots of income flowing in from that. Shining getting chased. Maybe does have a Yule, so he can't just TP out here. Shining forced to try and juke around a little bit. Chalice is going to get locked down by the net over in mid, and Speed runs into X-Nova, who's just going to try and head over towards his Beastmaster, but I don't think he's going to make it there in time. Now they spot the Beastmaster. He's going to try for the TP out, but I think there should be a net. Chalice locked down at the very last moment, drops the roar out of desperation. Is he the one with the gem? No, it is actually still the Timbersaw who has that. And down bottom. Alright, Ame slices right through the Underlord. Poor Yaha. He's had a rough game. He got completely zoned out of his lane at bot. Then he went and cut bottom lane for a little bit to get some experience, but he's been trailing on net worth pretty much this entire time. And struggling to do too much for his team. DDR was looking for the TP out, but that's going to easily get cancelled. This is going to be yet another Bloodstone charge for maybe. Bring it up to 19. Oh, Chakra misses. Keep running, DDR.
Not listening, not listening.
He tried. Ame knows that he has FY right behind him with the relocate, so able to play very cocky. He's got his BKB completed too. I wonder if LGD are just going to wait for the next Roche. Could respawn in 25 seconds time. They're doing a great job of just keeping all the lanes shoved. This Gyrocopter's still not really finding any farm. Even resorting to buying a Shadow Blade. Try and move around in these fights a little bit more, I suppose. At least lets him kind of position a bit better. If he gets roared, he's just dead. Though I'm not sure if he's really the roar target for now. I think the Lycan is going to be the big priority, and Shining getting chased down by Ame over here. The Gyrocopter is potentially going to run over into the Beastmaster. Chalice with the roar at the ready, won't be able to get it off. He's not the one with the gem. Now they pop the Lycan ultimate. They want to hunt down FY. Can they do it? They're charging into the river. Chalice will be able to get in there with the roar. He's also channeling up the Meteor Hammer. It's going to hit onto all of the summons. The Blade Mail gets popped. It reflects some damage onto Ame. But Shining will still be brought down at the end of the day in the Winter's Curse, preventing some of this damage. BKB now active, and I don't think they can do anything about the PA speed. That Shadow Blade once again saving him. The Dark Rift, can they get the Underlord out? No chance. 1k crits raining down. And now they've also pinned in the Naga Siren speed. Burst down FY. Can he find more? Decent damage onto Ame. They've got the homing missile chasing after him. X-Nova. Not really the big target. They do want to get the PA instead. Nova going to come back in with the Glimmer Cape. Sacrifices his own life potentially, though. Big Brother maybe is here to help out. And speed. This is like the third time the Shadow Blade has almost saved him, but I think this time around he might not make the escape. The Gem of True Sight is up for the Timber. He's still chasing around. Is speed just too fast? That sounds very strange to say, but I don't know, maybe. Oh, okay. There you go. He gets stunned the one time and looking very dead as a result. LT also going to come jumping in. There is a Yule's for maybe. Gives him that false hope, lets him have it until the very last second. And then bursting down. 22 Bloodstone charges. Ame's already inside of the base. Right-clicking onto their racks. Shining to pop that Blade Mail once again. Gives him a couple of seconds reprieve. At least should let him get back into the shapeshift, but his base is already a shambles. Mid laner Axe can get cleaned.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
BKB pop. One crit. Don't even need a second one. Maybe he's going to be there to clean up that kill. Shining will pop his ultimate, but can't do anything against the evasion of Ame, it seems. The BKB wears out, but now they've got FY here with the heals, the Meteor Hammer. They've got the chain lockdown onto the Lycan. He won't be able to run back to the fountain. DDR pops the song, but it's only to disengage. He's pinging the Phantom Assassin desperately, but there's nobody else alive to really help out, and maybe is just keeping everybody locked inside the fountain. He's actually taking pretty big damage off this Firestorm. Still has the Yules. Training his way out. Speed pops his BKB, focusing on FY. Might be able to finish him, but he reloads back into the fountain. And now Ame with the crits. Finish it. We'll get that Winter's Curse finally on the Beastmaster. Ame almost finishes him off. Chalice a little bit too tanky. Will still be finished. The Beyond Godlike streak is absolutely ridiculous. Timbersaw. PA. One more crit. Don't even need it. GG's called. And LGD will take game 2 as well of this series in very convincing fashion.
LGD victory.
I like the lineup a lot. They could just run at Rock. Rock, like, we're trying to put together these team fights. They need to get perfect coordination pretty much every single time. And LGD are like, nah, we don't need any of that. We'll just roar one guy and kill him. And that's it. Oh. Due to high load. Is the coordinator down? What's going on? Were they even ahead at all that game? Not really. Kind of close in the early game. The Jarcopter farmed reasonably against the PA, but then as the game dragged on, he just got bursted time and time again. The Lycan pick, I think, worked. Rock Gaming sat around. They were like, how do we deal with this Beastmaster Wisp lane? And I think what they chose actually worked out pretty nicely. Lycan had issues later on in the game, and getting picked into the Beastmaster maybe isn't the best like overall game matchup, but it was okay, right? In terms of the laning stage. So maybe that's something teams are going to have to consider against this Wisp Beastmaster opening in future. But that's going to wrap it up for our first series, guys. We have an hour-and-a-half break until the second series, so I think I'm actually going to take the stream down. And then I'll bring it back up for our next series, which should also be a little bit closer than this one. It's going to be IG versus Keen. I know it's not that much of a point of reference, but in terms of Gosu Gamers rankings, LGD are like 8 and Rock Gaming are 149 or something for China. Meanwhile, Keen versus IG is like rank 14 versus rank 18 or something along those lines. So should be a pretty good series. Let me just make sure that I'm not messing up those teams at all here. Yeah, so it is Keen versus IG. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, even though it is solo cast. Wasn't able to find a co-caster for today. And yeah, congratulations to LGD. They're going to be moving forward into the grand finals? Yeah, into the grand finals of the StarLadder Season 5 China qualifiers, one step away from punching their ticket to the LAN. They do, of course, have another opponent that they're going to be waiting for, and that's going to be the winner of our next series. So I'll hopefully catch you guys in about an hour and a half for some more Doto action.